This is Spectre number 2, and this sexy cover of a sexy woman is better than the comic. It's fake news, she is hardly in it. Of course, this is Xanadu by Olivia Newton-John. She is in at most 3 pages of it. This Spectre series, it tried to make a character more viable by depowering him dramatically and introducing the idea of Spectre and Phil Spectre as separate beings who coexist. I understand depowering him, but this is just so bland and unspecial. It's not really Spectre to me. It's like this exact same setup could be a Gargoyle or a Pantsless Stranger or a Satan's Son revamp, just as much as it is Spectre. Phil Spectre, he is a private eye now, and he has got an assistant who really annoyingly sings songs that aren't songs out loud. And it's the exact same non-existent song that she was loudly singing in the first issue. I reviewed issue 1 a long time ago. For me, part of the fun of Spectre is that he is ridiculously powerful. He can juggle planets and shit. And I know that doesn't necessarily lend itself to a solo star. But it seems a bit of a cheat to do a Spectre series and instead give us this like early 70s Marvel style comic with him having an alter ego. It was a PI, and this Jean Coleman art definitely doesn't help with the 70s Marvel comparison. Here is the Spectre though. He's the one that looks the most visually interesting. Him and Phil Spectre, they have a little debate here, but a lot of the writing is really rubbish too. Like, it's all too obvious. Characters just say bluntly what should be subtext or metaphor. The dynamic between Phil Spectre and Spectre is just annoying. They're both standoffish and kind of hate each other. Then they start playing chess. Look, here is a metaphor. It is the shittest metaphor around. It's a chess game, and, well, chess, it's kind of like their lives, and maybe they're all just pawns. And we spend far too many pages on this rubbish, and just as we're finished with it, we get tarot cards. They're slamming all the pet peeves into this one. Then we have got our bad guys, and in the first issue, the baddie was an evil bottle of ketchup. And here, it's just a cult. To call it a step down would be grossly accurate. They have corrupted or transformed or possessed or some bollocks like that Phil Spector's art police partner. Last issue he was transformed into cardboard. And rather than keep this wacky idea, we have first the romantic subplot, and then Phil Spector's art partner is made human again so he can go and kill people for the cult. By the way, have you noticed, we have not seen Spectre do anything except play a game of chess. He's meant to gun off on his own, separate from Phil Spectre, but we don't get to see what he actually does. Instead, we're like focusing on Phil Spectre and his detective work that so far has not had him leave his office. This is about as boring as a Spectre comic can be. People want to see a big fuck off Casper melting someone for scrumping, not Phil Spectre playing around with gumballs. Then we have got his ex-partner killing a person, stabbing them, and then we finally get to see the Spectre, but it's only gone inside a dead body and learn how he died. We do get a cameo from Pantsless Stranger, but then we've got fucking tarot cards again. As the world knows by now, any comic with a single tarot card in it is automatically awful. And this one has loads of tarot cards, like a full deck really, as well as a chess metaphor. And then on top of all that, it's boring too. I'm barely even reviewing this, it's genuinely dull. A big bird attacks and it kills a woman, and then Spectre comes out of a shower, and there's some gumballs again. Reincorporation. You saw them earlier in the story, and then they show up again later on. It's clever or something. The closest bit of something exciting is we have a short scene here between Spectre and Xanadu by Olivia Newton-John. It's interesting because she blatantly wants to jump his bones. If I remember, that is like the main plot of this series when it gets going. Xanadu by Olivia Newton-John wants to ride Spectre's enormous Casper cock. Unfortunately, tarot cards, so forget about that scene. And it ends with Phil Spectre going to investigate the leader of the cult. But he doesn't realise he is the leader of the cult and the bad guy. And this opening story arc is rubbish. There's some good stuff later in the series, but this is not good. It is pursuing a bland direction, but also feels like it has no real direction. If you want a good Spectre series, go and read the John Ostrich one instead. I rate this 7 thumbs up.